Welcome to the Breaking and Entering Podcast AFC East Preview Show. Buffalo has owned this division for the past few years, but how will this season go? We'll have our answers in a few minutes. But first, he's Ed. I'm Brandon. Ed, how you doing today?
Another week closer to football. I think we like 24. I know we're less than 30 days away from first game of the season. So looking forward to it. Let's just get into it, shall we? This is opening drive going. Tom Brady now has a 12-foot bronze statue outside Gillette Stadium. Vikings wide receiver Rondell Moore suffered a serious knee injury against the Texans on Saturday. Chiefs safety Deion Bush is out for the season after tearing his Achilles. Safety Jalen Mills has signed with the Texans. The Jets have activated defensive end Jermaine Johnson from the PUP list. Myles Garrett is cited for speeding, driving 100 miles per hour after the preseason game versus the Panthers. Steelers DT Cam Hayward confirms his holding and wants a new deal to reflect his all-pro season last year. Nevada Supreme Court approves John Gruden's appeal in an NFL lawsuit is blocking arbitration. Eagles Pro Bowler Landon Dickerson will have minor knee surgery and will be week to week. And Dolphins lose running back Alexander Madison for the season with a neck injury. All right, everyone. Like Brandon said, we're going to be talking about the AFC East this show. First team we're going to look at is the New York Jets. Of course, we know that they made some changes this offseason, particularly with the head coach, new head coach brought in, Aaron Glenn. Steve Wilkes has been hired as defensive coordinator, and Tanner Engstrand, hopefully I said that right, is a new offensive coordinator. They're also got a new quarterback, as we all know. You know, Aaron Rodgers is with the Steelers now, so Justin Fields is a new quarterback. He had a little scare earlier in training camp when he had that toe injury. He's carted off the field, but he looks like he'll be good. So he's a projected starter. They also had a quarterback retire. I think we mentioned this earlier, but Jordan Travis, he announced his retirement. I'm getting into it with Justin Fields. I know he done some things, some decent things with the Bears, a little bit of decent things with the Steelers, but I'm still not completely sold on him. I think he has talent, but it just doesn't seem to add up all the way. Like even with the Steelers, he was winning games, but the way he was winning games, the offense each week, it seemed to get less and less effective. He was doing a lot of things with his legs, not too much passing the ball. I'm kind of not afraid, but worried how this offense is going to look with him as a quarterback. They have some pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Don't get me wrong now. I really like Garrett Wilson. I think he's an all-pro type of wide receiver. I like their running back. They got Breece Hall as well, but overall, I'm just not sure how it would add up. I think Justin Fields is a great two-way quarterback, but as far as just being a pure pocket passer, doesn't seem to have that in him. And I know just to, win games, you're going to have to be able to pass the ball really well. He does it from time to time, but consistently, he has not done it. Defensive side of the ball, I was kind of disappointed. I thought they'd be a little bit better last year, but they didn't seem to be. I'm wondering if Aaron Glenn will come in and make things better. I know he was the defensive coordinator with the Lions, so we'll see if that has any effect. We talked about in the opening drive how they're getting back Jermaine Johnson. Before his injury, he was a Pro Bowl type player. He made the Pro Bowl in 2023. He had 7.5 sacks, 55 tackles, including level tackles for loss when he was playing before he had that injury where he was out 2024. Looking at some of the free agent additions they got, they signed safety Andre Sisco, defensive lineman Byron Cowart, and quarterback Brandon Stevens. So we'll see how those guys impact the defense side of the ball. I'm kind of expecting the defense to be a little bit better than the offense this year, but we'll see. Some other notable departures from the Jets. Of course, Devontae Adams came over with Aaron Rodgers, but he jettisoned. Good for him. He's with the Rams right now. Linebacker Hassan Reddick, he's with the Buccaneers now. And then, of course, defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw, he's over with us. I say us. I'm talking about the Commanders. And then their cornerback DJ Reed, he's with the Lions right now. So we'll see how those additions and subtractions affect the both sides of the ball. And then we're going to look into the draft a little bit. Their first round pick, seventh pick in the draft, was a tackle out of Missouri, Armand Mimbo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So hopefully, he does some improvements on the offensive line. They did lose Morgan Moses. He went over to the Patriots in the offseason as a free agent. So we'll see if Mimbo, I know he's a rookie, but if he can come in and have some effect on the offensive line in a positive way. Overall, though, I'm not too sure about the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn will give them some juice as a new head coach. I think Justin Fields will give them some juice, but I'm just kind of concerned about his consistency and how he'll be in the passing game. So right now, I'm leaning them tied. I got them finishing in the bottom of the division, third, maybe fourth place. I'm kind of be kind of nice to give them a third place finish, but definitely I don't see them making the playoffs. I could be wrong though. What's your opinion on the Jets, sir?
Yeah, I think defense will have to be the identity of this team. The headliner, Sauce Gardner, on the back end, he's going to have to be at the top of his game because he's got uh, Brandon Stevens signed there. Jets fans will have a very long season watching Brandon Stevens if he was anything like he was in
Oh, that's your
Baltimore the
boy. I
last
forgot.
few years. It's funny when you mentioned him. I just started having flashbacks. But yeah, the defensive front though, it should be one of the best in the league in my opinion. You got Will McDonald, Quentin Williams, and Jermaine Johnson, as you mentioned, activated off the pup list early this week. Those guys will definitely help keep this team in some of their games next year. But on the other side of the ball, the offensive staff, the coaching staff, and the front office, they're hoping that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson will get back to their Ohio State ways. They did have connection in college. I think that's part of the reason why they brought him over there. Um, but overall they'll need that offensive line to make some major improvements first. Y'all remember when Aaron Rodgers was there last year? About middle of the season, they announced on the Pat McAfee show that Devontae Adams was coming there, and everybody in sports media was like, "Oh, this is the missing piece. This is the missing piece. They're going to make a championship run. This and that." No, they could not run the ball last year, and they couldn't block either. But um, again, if they can't fix those issues right there, definitely on that offensive line, they're not going to do anything, in my opinion. But one guy I am looking forward to watching is Mason Taylor, the second round pick. He's a son of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. Played so many years down there in Miami, and I think he had a short stint with the Jets as well before he retired. They'll need him to be a good pass catcher and even better at blocking um, for this team. But yeah, I like Justin Fields. I agree with you on your stance with him. I like Sauce, Garrett Wilson. Both those guys got extended during the offseason, and even Mason Taylor again. But it just doesn't seem like they're all there just yet in this new regime. We'll see how Aaron Glenn. I think they'll play faster under him, but I think the other three teams in the AFC East are better than them. I got them finishing fourth in 2025. All right. Robert Kraft is hoping his former linebacker will help lead the team back to glory as this time as head coach. Trying to think of his name off the top of my head. Mike Vrabel. Yeah. I can't wait to hear what Ed thinks about the Patriots in 2025.
Yeah, man, let's get into it. As you mentioned, new head coach, Mike Vrabel. He's bringing over my boy, Josh McDaniel as offensive coordinator, and he's hired Terrell Williams as defensive coordinator. Jeremy Springer was retained as the special team coordinator. Another guy Mike Vrabel was bringing over with him, Harold Landry III, linebacker formerly with the Titans. I think that's going to be a really good additions for this defense. Looking at some other free agent signings, they have Milton Williams, defensive tackle, signed a pretty good contract, become highest paid player on the team. They also brought in Carlton Davis, cornerback, Robert Spillane, a linebacker. Looking at who they traded away or traded, they traded Devon Gotcho, defensive tackle, to the New Orleans Saints for a draft pick for next season. They also traded away Joe Milton. He's with the Cowboys now for a 2025 draft pick. Looking at who they picked up in the draft, the fourth overall pick in the first round is their tackle, Will Campbell. Second round, they got running back Trevion Henderson. He, as a lot of people know in the preseason, kicked off his career for a 100-yard kickoff return against my goddamn Commanders. So talk about the Commanders when we talk about the NFC East, but he definitely started his career off with a bang. He's got a pretty good backfield he's going into with my guy Ramondre Stevenson. I know he's dealt with fumbles over the year. And then there's also Antonio Gibson, who previously played with the Commanders as well, but he's never really found his footing as a starter that they want to be. So I could see Travion Henderson getting some extended minutes and playing times going forward, especially if the same type of stuff happens where Ramondre has issues with fumbles and that. Overall, though, Drake May was a rookie last year, showed a little bit of flashes. Didn't show a lot. He didn't start the season off. That was Jacoby Brissett. He played with a pretty shoddy old line, and he got beat up early and often. Then Drake May came in after, Jacoby was pretty much done from injuries, just not playing overall well. Drake May came in, like I say, he showed some flashes. I'm expecting him to prove coming in the year two. I think him and Josh McDaniels will work well together, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to, win a division. I think overall, I got them finishing tied with the Jets or maybe a little better. Maybe they can finish third. Right now, I think they'll be in fourth place. I do think they'll be a little bit better under Mike Vrabel than they were Gerard Mayo. The team seems to like him a little more. I know I'll talk to you about it or text you about it. The little scrap that the Patriots got into, I think it was with the Commanders too. And Mike Vrabel got in a scrum. They had to pull him out of it, and he had a little blood on his cheek. I think the players on his team like that, so we'll see. Talking about some of the free agent signings too, I think Stephon Diggs will definitely give that wide receiver room some juice. Now he is coming off a torn ACL, so we'll see how much juice he has. But I think experience and mentorship for that receiver group would be good for them. Same thing for Drake May. So I think they will do well, but overcoming the Bills, I don't see it. So right now, I do have them finishing fourth, but I think that it could be a tie with the Jets, and they could potentially be in third place. But right now, I don't see them doing too much in this division. So I got them finishing in fourth place. Brandon, how about you? What are your thoughts on the Patriots?
Speaking of Gerard Mayo, I hope the Patriots are some ass for the next 3 to 5 years after letting Gerard Mayo go without giving him a real chance at the head coaching position. I really do. But for real,
he started 2-0 too.
What's that?
Last year, he started 2-0 last year. Then it all went downhill.
Exactly. And Robert Kraft, you hired him. Ain't nobody hire him but you. You make the decisions up there, so don't be trying to. But yeah, it is what it is. But for real, y'all, Rome wasn't built overnight. Talking about this offensive line that had Drake Mayo running for his life last season. I know they've retooled this front. They've got Morgan Moses, Will Campbell, the first overall pick in their selection room, fourth overall in the draft. But it takes time to fix a major issue like that. I don't think it'll be fixed 100% to make things different for them. Another point that I've said several times, and it's a great point here, in my opinion, that it's not good for a young quarterback to have a new offense coordinator heading into year two. Everybody's gung-ho on Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, but y'all got to remember, Mike Vrabel was never known for developing a quarterback down there in Tennessee. He had a great run game and a really good defense, but he never had a quarterback that was like elite. And then Josh McDaniels has never been successful without Tom Brady. He went to the Raiders, sucked there. I think he went to the Broncos in the past. He sucked there as well. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I do like how they retooled this defense, or they've tooled this defense over the last couple of years. Mix of young guys and veterans. My favorite player on their defense is Christian Gonzalez, heading into year three. Looking for him to make a big step with a new defensive coach on his side. I think they'll be extremely good. They got Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar, Carlton Davis, Christian Barmore. He's been there for a while. They got a sleeper from world champion Philadelphia Eagles and Milton Williams, who really came on, had a strong postseason and Super Bowl performance. And again, as you mentioned, former Titans linebacker Harold Landry III. But when it's all said and done, I think they'll be finishing third place, and they'll likely flirt with fourth in the bottom of the division. I don't see much out of this Patriots team in 2025.
Gotcha. All right, let's look at the Bills. The Buffalo Bills dominant for a long time, so especially since Josh Allen's came in the fold as a quarterback. Brandon, what are your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills coming in next year?
So clearly, defense was the focal point this offseason for them. They had 5 out of their 9 first draft picks were defenders. 3 corners were selected, including the young man out of Kentucky, Maxwell Harrison. If y'all watched the first episode of training camp, Hard Knocks with them, came out last week. They're calling him Mad Max up there. They're comparing him to a guy they bought back in Tre'Davious White. I think he got banged up um, earlier in camp, but I don't believe it's going to be a long-term injury. Um, they do want to get more out of the defensive line and secondary. So again, they got Tre'Davious White to come back. He spent last year with the Rams and the Ravens, entering his 9th year, and then Joey Bosa, the team up with Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau. I think the strength of this defense is a linebacker core. A guy I talk about all the time, Matt Milano. Um, and it's another guy. I got Joey Bosa on here, but that's not who I want to talk about. But yeah, he can go sideline to sideline. Matt Milano. He's one of the better linebackers in the league. On the offensive side of the ball, great tandem at tight end with Dalton Kincaid and Knox. James Cook. He's one of the best in the business. And of course, Josh Allen is Josh Allen. I think Joe Brady will continue to let Josh Allen do his own thing out there on the field. Coming off that MVP season, including making those jaw-dropping sideline throws when he's damn near 1 foot out of bounds and 1 foot in and throwing a bomb downfield 50, 60 yards like he did against Baltimore in week 4 last year. Best quarterback in the league in those types of throws. But yeah, the Bills, they've sold me this offseason and this brief bit of training camp and preseason. I got them another first place finish without a doubt, a deep playoff run as well, if not a Super Bowl appearance for Buffalo. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think it's going to be the same as with them winning that division. Like you said, a lot of new additions on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the draft. Talked about them picking up Joey Bosa. They also picked up Larry Ogunjobi, signed him on a 1-year deal. Signed a defensive end, Michael Holt. Dane Jackson, the cornerback they signed, who's with the Panthers. Picked up safety Derek Forrest, and like you said, Tre'Davious White. So they got some depth and some starters pretty much everywhere, but mostly the secondary and the defensive line. They also picked up Elijah Moore, wide receiver. I liked him, especially early in his career. I think injuries and just who he's with. He played with the Jets. I mean, enough said in my opinion there. But I think him going with the Buffalo Bills, I think him and Josh Allen will make some nice connections. Little bit concerned about James Cook just because he's holding in right now. Hopefully they get him squared away. I think he wants more money to reflect how he's been doing. I think he deserves it, but be interested to see if that holding goes into the season. If they go onto the field without him, I think that, offense will look a slightly different without James Cook on the field, but we'll see. Defensive side of the ball, I kind of agree with you. I think this might have pulled them over the hump on paper, at least with the additions they picked up. They did lose a couple of guys, Von Miller, even though when they got him, he got hurt. He wasn't the same. Micah Hyde retired, and they also had their tackle Tommy Doyle retire. So we'll see how much those additions and subtractions affect them. But overall, man, I agree with you. I think that defense is going to be new and improved. I'm kind of wanting to see how Joey Bosa is going to look out there, if he's going to be a freak of nature like he's previously been. Only concern with this team is injuries. Matt Milano, he got hurt early last year and basically missed most of the regular season. And he came back at the end, but he wasn't ready yet. Now he's coming into the season healthy. So barring any injuries, I think this team will win the division again. And I do see them making a deep playoff run unless they run into, injury or just some team that plays well late. So, yeah, give me the Buffalo Bills to win AFC East again as well.
Yeah, Terrell Bernard is that linebacker I was talking about
Oh, yeah.
alongside Matt Milano. He had a solid game against Baltimore in the playoffs, so I should have remembered his name. All right, everyone, down to South Beach we go. The Dolphins finished 8-9 last season. A lot of injuries and even some drama with Tyreek Hill at the end of the final game, Week 18 of 2024. Hell, y'all, if Tua and that Miami defensive front can stay healthy, they can be a force, honestly, in my opinion. If not, they're mediocre, and their coach and their quarterback will be on the hot seat. Chop Robinson, he really lived up to his first round selection in 2024 after his two compadres. Jalen Phillips got banged up last year, and Bradley Chubb. Both of those guys missed most of the season. So Miami decided to get some reinforcement from Ed's University of Michigan. They added the defensive tackle Kenneth Grant with their first overall selection in their draft room to help get that push from the inside of their defensive line. A lot of guys on that in that secondary that I don't really know about besides Minka Fitzpatrick, which they just acquired, I think just before training camp in exchange for Jalen Ramsey with the Steelers. I'm interested to see how that pans out for them. But again, I like that defensive front. Um, Two in this offense, I expect a lot of speed and points. It's pretty much the same thing with them every year. They're not really that physical, but they could put points on the board and they can outrun damn near anybody. They got great wide receiver tandem. Devon A. Chaney's coming off a solid sophomore season, and they've added a good tight end in Darren Waller. Will he be rusty? That's a question, but if not, he can be damn near a third wide receiver. I mean, he's just got that size and that strength to him. He's more, in my opinion, a wide receiver than he is a tight end. Offensive line is a little bit shaky as well, but if they can protect their quarterback, I think everything else will work itself out for them. I got the Finns coming in second place in the AFC East in 2025. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with the placement too. I got them finish the second place, fighting for first. You hit the nail on the head, man. Injuries. Start with Tua, concussions. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Tyreek Hill, he's getting banged up more often. Even Jalen Waddle, even their running back Devin Achane. It seems like all their skilled players, very important players, get injured, and it just derails their season. Especially Tua, when he's out, that offense
Yep.
is not the same. You can bring in anybody else, but that offense is designed for him. And when
Yep.
he's not out there, that offense does not look good. When he's out there, they honestly could beat anybody the way they just flow and the timing he has with that offense. So, I mean, I just want to leave it at that. If he can stay healthy, I honestly got them competing with the Bills for first place. But I'm going to say just second place because I think overall the Bills are a better team. And I need to see how the Dolphins look, especially with some of the people they lost on the defensive side of the ball. Calais Campbell, he's gone now. Jalen Ramsey, as you mentioned, he's gone. The safety, Javon Holland, he's no longer with the teams. He's with the Giants now. So we'll see who's coming in to step up for them. As you mentioned, they picked up a Go Blue guy, Michigan guy, Kenneth Grant, D tackle in the first round. Looking at who they also drafted. Second round, they drafted a guard. Third round, they drafted a defensive tackle out of Maryland, Jordan Phillips. Fourth round, they drafted a cornerback out of Florida, Jason Marshall Jr. And then in the fifth round, they drafted another secondary piece of safety out of Maryland, Dante Trader. So they made a couple of, picks to get that defense going again. We'll see if any of these guys in the draft will be contributors right away or not. But overall, if they can stay healthy, I definitely see them finishing in second place, maybe fighting for first place. But just that health. And then Tua talked a little bit about it. Overall chemistry with the team, like Tyreek Hill, his comments at the end of last season, we talk about I'm out and stuff like that. And Tua kind of mentioned it earlier in the training camp where he's got to make things right with the team. How's that locker room looking? How's everybody gelling in the locker room now? If they can play together, that'll help the team. But if they're, you got groups, you got agendas, you got different things going on, that locker room could get torn apart. And guys like Mike McDonald could be on a hot seat and eventually lose his job. So it either could work really well for them or it could all fall apart and we see regime changes, maybe even quarterback changes. I'm kind of 50-50 on how it goes right now, to be honest with you. But I try to be on a more optimistic side of things. So I'm leaning towards the Dolphins finishing healthy and finishing in second place in the AFC East. But we'll see how it goes. It could all go wrong. We'll see.
Definitely.
Before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to talk a little bit about the preseason game. We had 2 ties this weekend. The Raiders and Seahawks, they finished 23-23. And there was another tie yesterday. What game was that? Yeah, the Dolphins and the Bears finished 24-24. Thought that was pretty interesting. Commanders, I was talking to you about it. I'm on it next week. I saw the score. I didn't watch the game. I saw a couple of highlights. Like I mentioned earlier, Trevion Henderson, him kicking off his season with the touchdown run off the kick return, 48-18. I'm on it next week. It's a preseason game. I don't really put too much into it, but like, come on, y'all. God damn. 18-48, my goodness, against the Patriots. Now, credit, a lot of guys didn't play. Jaden Daniels didn't play, so I'm not too concerned, but Lord have mercy. Let's do a little bit better next week, please. Brandon, you got any thoughts on any of the preseason games?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I almost forgot it. I had a special bonehead play of the week.
Oh, that's right.
Goes to CeeDee Lamb. He pulled the Mike Tomlin, except Mike Tomlin didn't get ran over from the referee, and he did. And then before the game, Dak Prescott gonna go up to the Rams owner and tell him something. We'll see y'all in the NFC Championship. Okay, Dak. Okay, we'll see about that one. But good deal out of the rookie quarterbacks. Shador played pretty good. I hope he has another solid outing this coming week. Hopefully he gets another shot at playing a good amount of reps because he did that against Carolina's first team defense for the most part with his second and third offensive guys. Jackson Dart played pretty good. He kind of wowed me. I wasn't expecting him to play as good as he did. And Cam Ward as well. I know you mentioned the fact that Tyler Shook threw a pick 6, I think it was, but then he came back. He had a pretty pass. I did see the touchdown he threw. They showed that a couple times on NFL Network. But those 2 ties in the preseason is kind of interesting. Again, I know we talked about it in our last show, how preseason doesn't really count that much in a sense. And you don't think about those type of stuff. I know the times that Baltimore has come down close to a tie, we've managed to either get a kick or the other team got a field goal to win it. So we never ended up in a tie that I remember as of late. But it kind of makes you want them to play overtime. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see it end in regulation with a tie, even though it doesn't count. You don't want to risk an injury or anything like that. But it also gives those young guys on the bubble another shot at perhaps another quarter of play to at least, possibly make a name for themselves. They could end up making a roster because of another quarter of play. So, especially with this time of year, you never know when thunderstorms are going to impact the games and call the games off, like the Hall of Fame game, stuff like that. If you get an opportunity to go to overtime in preseason, they might as well just go ahead and take it. I mean, some people ain't going to watch it. Some people will, honestly. I mean, it is what it is. But solid outings by most of the rookie quarterbacks. Again, hopefully Shador gets to play a little bit more. And I think everything I've been hearing that he's got the most rookie sales for his jersey, or either tops among quarterbacks. I want to say it was rookies overall.
There's a lot of jerseys in that game on Friday.
Exactly. On the road too. On the road in Carolina. So I'm sure the Dogtown will show up this coming week. I'm pretty sure they're at home this week. Let me check. No, actually they're in Philly. Oh, I don't know if they want to wear I don't know if they want to go into Philly and wear another team jersey. Y'all be safe, Browns fans, if you do that. Steelers fans. Them Philly fans something else, y'all. they serious even during the preseason. But good preseason week 1 though. A lot of good games.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up Cam Ward because, like I said, when we were previewing the AFC South, I wasn't really familiar with him. I didn't watch a lot of him in college, but from what I saw in his brief, because he was only out there for like 2 or 3 drives, I think he had like 7 passes, but he looked really good. Like the passes he was making, the throws he made, he was hitting receivers in stride. Him and Calvin really looked really good. So kind of opened my eyes a little bit more on him. And I won't be surprised if he, does some things out there this year. You talking about CeeDee Lamb? If I was a rep, and I told you this, I'd have been pissed, boy. I'd have been so damn mad. I'm glad nobody was hurt. I'm glad CeeDee Lamb didn't hurt his back. I'm glad the ref didn't get hurt, but I would have been pissed if I was a ref. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Woo, my goodness, I would have been mad. I'd have been mad to this day if I was a ref. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then I don't know if I think we talked about it. The salute to the Jaguars kicker. It was a preseason, so it doesn't count. But he kicked a 70-yard field goal. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of this going forward. 65 to the 70 range. Somebody might fuck around, kick a 75-yarder before we all said and done. So salute to Cam Little. I think his name is the kicker for the Jaguars. And speaking of Jaguars, Travis Hunter, he looked okay on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to use him a lot. I will say on the defense side of the ball, if they are out there, they might pick on him in the run game or throw it to him just to see if he can tackle. His running back was able to break his tackle and still farm him to the ground. So we'll see how that looks going forward.
One quick thing about never want to see any injuries, but I was watching that Vikings game and Rondale Moore went down. And I know he's a guy that you've talked about a lot over the last couple of years. It was kind of tough to see that. I saw it live, and he went like down on both knees, and I was like, it just ain't good. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they was pulling out the cart. So speedy recovery to everybody. Again, the injuries have just been through the roof, in my opinion, this training camp and to start the preseason as well. It's been a lot of season-ending injuries, way too many, unfortunately. But speedy recovery to everyone.
Speaking of injuries, shout out to Maurice Norris from the Lions because they had to suspend that game, the Lions-Falcons game after the injury he suffered. He's in concussion protocol, but they say he's doing well now. So speedy recovery to him. Hopefully everything goes well. Yeah, feel bad for Rondale Moore because I think he had a bad injury last year or the year before when he was with the Cardinals. So never want to see guys get injured again, especially the same body area. Looking at they got a screenshot of him. He got the towel over his face on the cart. I hate seeing stuff like that, man. So, prayers to him, man.
Definitely.
All right, everyone. That's going to do it for another episode of the Breaking Entering Podcast. Next time you see us, we'll be talking about the AFC North, Brandon's teams in that division. So looking forward to hear what he's got to say and definitely going to hear my thoughts as well. Until next time, please comment, like, subscribe. When you look for us on YouTube, to search B&E Podcast, Breaking Entering Podcast. Look for us on Twitter, known as X now as well, Podcast B&E, Instagram as well, Podcast B&E or B&E Podcast. And we'll see you next time. Peace.